a 4-week series that we're starting today that I am calling 12 Steps to Reclaiming Your Life. It could also be called Recovery for All the Rest of Us, because these 4 lessons will be an exploration into this 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous. Now, if you're not a member of AA, and I know many of our community are members of AA or other parts of the recovery movement, if you're not, please know that everything that we're going to be talking about applies to you and me as well. Because these 12 steps are really 12 spiritual steps. In fact, their roots are in spiritual teaching and in spiritual practice. So we're going to look today at the applicability of the first 3 steps in AA. In the foreword of the first edition of the Big Book, it is written, "We are sure our way of living has its advantages for all." And I agree with that 100%. I like very much the idea of this being a way of living. Unity is a way of living. It's a very daily way of living. It's a moment-by-moment way of living, being aware spiritually, staying awake spiritually, and living from a spiritual practice and a spiritual understanding. So here are the first 3 steps. I'll tell you what they are in case you're not familiar with them, and then we'll look at how they apply to all of the rest of us. Here's the first step. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. Step 2, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. We made a decision, number 3, we made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. Very clear, easy to understand steps. One of the underpinnings of AA is that it is about progress, not perfection. And so it is about progress with each of these 12 steps, not perfection. It doesn't excuse us from striving for excellence in how we apply the steps, or striving for excellence in any other area of our lives. The striving for, the reaching for excellence is important and worthy, but that's very different indeed than seeking after perfection. What we want to do is to make progress, but free ourselves from this unrealistic thought that somehow we could get it and get it absolutely perfectly. So what is this first step? We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. What is this really about for all the rest of us who aren't struggling with an addiction to alcohol? What it's about for the rest of us is the admission that there are some things I have control over and other things that I do not have control over. So to try to control things that are outside of our right to control or our ability to control will cause us to lose our sense of inner peace and will create havoc and unmanageability in our lives. The flip side of that is working within the areas of our life over which we do have control, and exercising that control puts us in a place of tremendous spiritual strength and power. The kind of spiritual strength and power that allows us to have a manageable life. Contained within this step, that we admitted that we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable, is the recognition that life is meant to be manageable. Life is meant to be good.